Welcome viewers to the siliconboard.com. Now, today in this video, I shall discuss with you how you can create policies and how you can create S3 bucket. The last video where we left out, that is the user, that dev user one, that user was unable to create one S3 bucket. So first we will create one policy and we will create some roles and we will try to merge all those components together. So let's begin. So you can see this is my AWS page and I have logged in this page from my root account. So whenever you will create your AWS account from your mail ID, using your mail ID, you will get the root account. So first you also log in into your AWS account from that specific mail ID, not the new user which you had created, because a new user doesn't have any permissions. So first we will create one S3 policy. Okay. So in the left hand side, you can see we have many options, and out of that there is one called policies. So click on policies first and it will take you to the policy making page. Now once you in the policy making page, we will create policy. So in this page you can see few things, that is policies and how many policies are there. That is 1500 policies, 1512 policies are there. Those are inbuilt policies AWS has made for us. You can directly click and attach. Okay, but this is not a good idea, because if we do that, then we'll not have the manual control. We can create policies manually as well. So just a minute, let me. Okay, now this is the refresh button and actions. As we haven't selected any policies, so action button is disabled. Similarly, delete, and you can see the create policy button over here at the rightmost corner of the page. So once you click create policy, it will take you to the create policy page. Now here some of the important things you need to know. That is, first text is the specify permissions. Okay. Now here just after that you will get policy editor. So how you will create your policy, that kind of editing stuff, it is there. And here is two options, visual or JSON. So all the policies AWS is maintaining, that is in the form of JSON file. Okay, I will show you. And there is an action, so what kind of actions you can take. Okay, now just after that you will have select service. So for which service you are trying to create policy. So as you guys are a beginner, so first we shall start with S3 bucket. You can think that S3 bucket is a hard disk of AWS that is present inside the AWS service, and AWS is giving us that privilege so that we can use the hard disks of AWS. Okay, so in that service drop down, you will get many services of AWS. Out of that, one is S3. So click on S3. Okay, so once you have clicked on S3, you will get effect is you can see effect is allow or deny. So effect will have either of these two value, if that is allow or deny. Okay, now you can select all actions. So all actions means you can do anything on that specific bucket, but that is not a good idea to have all the permissions. So we will have some subset of permissions. Okay, so one of that we will get, that is list bucket. There is somewhere in the list bucket. Yep, this is list bucket and create bucket. Let's see, we will have create bucket table, create bucket. Yes, and if you remember last time the error that we had got, that is create bucket permission is not there. So you can see this permission, this exact permission is not there. So when you see that this permission is missing, you can just copy, or you can just copy this part, that create bucket action. Copy this, come to your root account. So let's go to the root account, and here if you just paste it, you can see that create bucket account, create bucket option is already present, and I have selected this one. So this means when I will have this policy, or you can say when I will have this permission, I can create the bucket. Also I can list the bucket. So how I can say this list bucket is there, because I had clicked somewhere in the list bucket. So here we have list bucket, and I have also selected create bucket. Okay, so once these things are done, I will select all for now. Okay, so we have attached two policies. One is list bucket and one is that create bucket and request. These things are not required as of now. Go to next, and it will ask you to give some permission name. So give some, sorry, it will ask you some to give some policy name. So just I write something like this: manual policy S3, that is list create. Okay, you can write some descriptions of your will, and here you will get what kind of services you have selected and access level, that is list, and write resources all, and this request condition is none. Now I will explain all these things. So remaining 466 services. So there are around 466 kind of services that are already present, but for now skip this part. So when you click on edit, it will take you to the edit page. Now if we click on the JSON, you will see the policy document in the JSON format. Now let me explain what it says. This is a version number. Now this is not current date, this is the version. So in the year 2012, this is the date when this version was released, this version of policies. And what is the statement? Statement is SID. This one you can give of your own. Effect is allow. So if you remember, there was a deny and allow radio button. So we have allowed it. Now what kind of action? The action is create bucket and list bucket. So these two actions can be performed on which resource? On star. Star means any bucket that you create on that specific account. So let's say there is already one specific bucket. I can give that bucket name only over here, so that you can only take these two actions on that specific bucket. But for now it is star. This means if there are 5 to 6 bucket in your AWS account, in your derived AWS account, you can execute these two actions on 5 to 6 buckets. But as of now, as it is a star, if you have multiple buckets, you can execute these two actions. Okay, so basically resource means you can give one specific AWS bucket name, S3 bucket name, so that you have zoomed in your permissions only for that S3 bucket. So that is resource. Okay, so once you have done all these things, go to next. Now policy name, I think the earlier one it has deleted, so I will write it once more: manual policy S3 create and list. Okay, nothing. Okay, now just copy this one so that it will be easy to find it out. Now create policy, and your policy has been created. Okay, you can search this one over here, so just paste it and you can see this policy has been created. Now if you click on the plus symbol, you will get the same JSON data, and which describes the kind of configurations which you have made in the policy statement. So now your policy has been created. So now in the present scenario, that user is still not attached with this policy. So even if you go to here to create bucket, it will show you the same error, because now policy is created but it is not attached with the user. So again, go back to your AWS account, I mean that root account where IAM permission is allowed. Now here you are having an user, that is user dev user 1. Now if you click over here, okay, now add permissions, copy permissions, attach policies directly. Okay, so you can attach policies directly, or you can create a role. That role you can attach over here. Now we can go in two directions. Okay, so if I click over here, then paste that policy name, click it, click next, add permissions. So there is a user. Now that user is directly attached with some policy. Okay. Now this is not, now I am skipping role for this tutorial. Okay. So once you can also check from the user list. So once you have done this action, go to this user, and in the permissions tab you can see the manual policy S3 is being attached. Okay. So once it is attached, so now these two entities are coupled together. Now when you come to your deb user, now if you click on create bucket, you can see your bucket has been created, successfully created bucket, but insufficient permissions to apply default encryption. That's okay. We don't need encryption for now. And you can see one S3 bucket is created. You can see from here, general buckets. Hold on. Okay. IAM list. Okay. So again, it is a good practical experience. If you don't have permissions to list bucket because you don't, okay, now to allow, you need to have this permissions as well, this policy as well. So when you see this kind of error, it will show you what you need to do. So just copy this policy, copy this, come to your page, come here, and you need to edit the policy. Okay. Now JSON edit visual, and in visual you will get again those list. Okay. Add more permissions, that is S3, and here just paste the one which is not there. The permission is not in the list my bucket, list all my bucket. Okay. List all my bucket you will get over here. Okay. Under list all my bucket. Next, save changes. Okay. Now come to your user and refresh this page. Where is the refresh? Yes. Now you can see the buckets that are present, and this manual bucket for research purpose, that one I had created for my other R&D job, and this is a bucket that we had created for our demo purpose. So now you can come to this S3 bucket and you can do your stuff. So in this tutorial, what we learned, we have created one policy. So let's go back to our IAM page. So I have created one manual policy, this one, and how you will find it. The policy that you have created, you will come to this policy page. If you search over here, you will get the policy page again. Okay. Now this policy is attached to the user directly. So if you come to the users, and if you click on dev user 1, you will see the policy is being attached with the user. Okay. Now if you want, let's say you want to remove this policy from the user, click on it and just remove the policy. So again, that policy is removed. Now this policy is not deleted. The policy is still there, but it has been removed from the user. If you want to check, you can come to the policy page again, just paste it over here. Policy is still there, but it is not associated with any user. So this is all about creating policies. You can play around with the policy page, and you can get what kind of policies, what kind of different sets of policies that we will have for different AWS services. In my upcoming tutorial, when I will create Lambda and when I will create some other AWS services, I will show you how all those things are done. So this is all about basics of AWS policy. Let's meet in our next video, that is AWS roles.